We're back now with news of growing calls for a Senate investigation into Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Senate Democrats are considering a potential hearing on Supreme Court ethics after it was revealed earlier this month that Justice Thomas received undeclared gifts and luxury travel from a wealthy Republican donor. NBC News congressional correspondent Julie Tsirkin joins us now to dig into this. Julie, good morning. So the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin, talked about a potential hearing just yesterday while also putting pressure on Chief Justice Roberts to investigate Justice Thomas. So what exactly did he say about that? And do we know what a potential hearing could actually look like?
Yeah, well, good morning, Zingley. Look, a hearing pretty much is up in the air now. We don't know what the parameters will look like specifically, but bottom line here is that most, if not all, Senate Democrats believe that these donations by this wealthy donor should have at least been disclosed by Clarence Thomas. But they're also united in the fact that they think this should call for some stricter ethics codes that the Supreme Court would then have to abide by. Right now, they don't really have any formal rules in place. They say they go by the rules that also cover the lower courts. But obviously, Senate Democrats are really concerned with Sheldon Whitehouse, the top Democrat on the Judiciary Committee, potentially connecting this to a larger dark money scheme. Here's what Senator Dick Durbin had to say, who's the top Democrat on the Judiciary panel. Watch.
What we called on Chief Justice Roberts to do is to accept the responsibility of the court. As Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, he has to understand that Clarence Thomas's conduct is absolutely unacceptable from an ethical basis. To restore the integrity and the reputation of the court, they have to do something. An investigation followed by a change in approach on ethics.
So you hear him calling on Chief Justice Roberts to investigate this himself. It's not clear what the lawmakers on Capitol Hill are going to be able to do, especially in a divided government.
And Julie, it is important to point out that Senate Republicans are pushing back on this idea, especially Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, right?
Oh, totally. Most of them are actually united in the fact that they think this is really no big deal. Senator Cornyn, who's a top Republican on the Judiciary Committee, he said, look, this happens. Even senators accept personal favors sometimes here and there. They do, however, think this could have been disclosed, and that's something that even Cornyn said Clarence Thomas is going to have to do. But on the bottom line, on the flip side, Republicans think that Chief Justice Roberts could have this all handled internally. Take a listen to what McConnell had to say, the minority leader.
The Supreme Court and the court system is a whole separate part of our Constitution. I have total confidence in the Chief Justice of the United States to deal with these court internal issues.
Now, Senator Romney, who is the only Republican I heard say this, said it could potentially be problematic if Clarence Thomas did accept these donations and personal favors, as he called them.
And Julie, it is worth noting, though, everything in D.C. is connected, though we heard McConnell say they are their own institution, right? The Supreme Court. This is all complicated by Senator Dianne Feinstein's medical leave. She's also a member of the Judiciary Committee, but Senate Republicans have blocked a request by Democrats to temporarily replace her. So, Julie, this would actually reduce the likelihood of actually seeing Justice Thomas testify in any potential ethics hearing, right?
Exactly. That's such a good point, because we saw Republicans block this temporarily replacement. Senator Feinstein said this is what they'll be able to do so that she doesn't have to resign early. She can just continue sitting out her medical leave as she recovers from shingles. But this means that the numbers on the Judiciary Committee are even, 10 and 10, Republicans and Democrats lacking that 11th vote that gives them the majority to be able to do things like subpoena Clarence Thomas, for example, to get him to talk to the committee. Not clear if he would abide that subpoena in any case, but really this just shows you how complicated things are when Democrats have such a slim majority over Republicans in the Senate. They're not 50-50 anymore, but even still, they require every single vote to be able to carry out their agenda. And in a case like this, where they're trying to investigate Clarence Thomas and these payments and donations to him, Senator Feinstein's absence is a huge hurdle for Democrats to get over.
Definitely a complicated issue. We know you'll stay on it. Julie Tsirkin, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.